Welcome back, guys. How is it going? This is Shobit again, and I'm yet back with another video on the playlist that I'm making on LeetCode Solutions. And today we are going to deal with a problem which is LeetCode number is 448, and it says find all numbers disappeared in an array. Now let's read the problem statement. Given an array of integers where I is less than equals to ai, which is less than equals to n, where n is the size of the array, some elements appear twice and others appear once. Find all the elements of 1 to n inclusive of both that do not appear in this array. Alright, so basically I'll go to this third part later, put you do it with extra space and stuff, but then let's understand the problem first. So basically I would be given an array, right, where all the elements ranging from 1 to n will be present. So basically if my array size is 10, I would have the elements ranging from 1 to 10 inclusive of both. So I can have 1, I can have 10, I can have any number in between 1 and 10, but I cannot have numbers like 0 as invalid input. I cannot have numbers like 11 for the value 10 because since the size of the array is 10, 11 is greater than the size of the array. So I would I would violate the problem statement itself. Now I would be given such a organized such structural array, and from this array I need to find which numbers do not appear in the range 1 to n. So ideally, if I need to have all 1 to n elements in an array, so they would be like 1 to n. So basically for a length of 10, if I need to have 10 distinct numbers, they would be nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and their permutations, correct? But this is not the case. The case is some elements appear twice and some appear once. So if some appears twice, let's say I have my array size of 5 and I have numbers like 1 3, let's do it. Okay, so I have numbers like 1 2 3 and 3. Okay, 1 2 3 5 3. This is a valid array because all the numbers range from 1 to 5, which is perfectly okay as per the problem statement since the array length is 5. Now in this input, my output should be ideally 4, because I want to see how many numbers in the range of 1 to n does not exist. It doesn't exist. So does 1 exist? Yes. Does 2 exist? Yes. Does 3 exist? Yes. Does 4 exist? No. Does 5 exist? Yes. So basically 4 is the number that we are looking for that do not exist in the array between 1 to n. Alright. So the first thing that comes to our mind on seeing such a problem is that using a hash table. So what I mean by using a hash table is basically I record all the numbers that I have seen so far. Now if I see such number which I have seen previously, I would tell that there are duplicates and there must be some number that are not present. So basically for this particular example, if I go on, I'll have a boolean hash table where I'll set all the index to false. Now so basically what do one the position of false tells us in the number about the number in the array. So basically if my boolean's first index is 0, first index is false, that means I haven't seen a number 1 yet. So basically if at any index I, let's say at any index I, my boolean is true, so that means the number I is there in the array, correct? So this is my approach. So if I go on with this, so basically I'll traverse the original array. So the first element is 1, I'll go to the first element of the boolean, I'll make it true. The second element is true, I'll go to the second element of the boolean and make it true. The third element is true, I'll go to the third element of the boolean and make it true. The fifth element is true, so I'll go to the fifth element and make it true. And the third element is true, I go to the third element and make it true. Since it's always already being true, so it will just overwrite true over true. Now this boolean has now all the records of the elements that are present in the array. Now which element is not present in the array? the particular index for which the boolean has a value false, that particular index value is not present in the array. So for example, if I traverse the boolean hash map, so 1 is there in the array, 2 is there in the array, 3 is there in the array. Since 4 has a false, so 4 is not there in the array, so I tell that 4 is not there in the array, and 5 is there in the array. So the output becomes this, just 4. Correct. So let's take the exemplary input and exemplary output to prove that this thing works. So this is my A, right, and this would be my boolean. It would be false, false, false. So initially everything would be false because I haven't yet started visiting all the elements in the array. So I see that I have a 4, so I'll go to the fourth value of the fourth element of the boolean and make it true. I have seen a 3, so I'll go to the third element and make it true. I've seen a 2, I'll go to the second element and make it true. I've seen a 7, so I'll basically go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th element, I'll make it true. I've seen an 8, I'll go to the 8th element and make it true. I've seen a 2 again, so 2 is already being marked, so it doesn't matter if I make it true again. So true and true would be true. So I'll go to 3 again, 3 is already being marked. I'll go to 1 again. Now I'll go to the first element and make it true. Now I'll traverse the array and see which elements, which position has false. Basically 1 is 1 there, yes, 1 is there because the first index is true. 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, 5 is not there, and 6 is not there. 7 and 8 are there again. So for this particular input, my output should be 5, 6, and that matches the output that has been given in the question. So this is a proof that this algorithm works. Okay, so this is the common algorithm that anyone would think of when given such a problem. Now the question arises here: if this is so simple, why does Facebook even ask it? So the Facebook asks it because this is where it gets trickier. I need to implement this whole algorithm using O of n runtime with constant space. I am not using constant space in this particular approach. I need to have a separate boolean array of size n, which is equal to the original array, input array. So I need to do it without the boolean array. So can I do that? Here comes the question. So that's pretty much sure that if we ever need to do this without the boolean array, I need to keep a track of which elements I have seen in the array itself, in the original array itself. Now how can I do that? So this is a very popular algorithm, and I believe this algorithm should be known to most of the students, but then again it's a very effective algorithm and you must know it, right? So there's a lot of problems that involve this algorithm. So what I'll do, for every element I in the array A, I'll mark that particular index of the array as visited. Now how will I mark it visited? So basically my original array contains all numbers that are positive, that are in the range from 1 to n. Now let's say if I go to 4, okay, so the first element is 4 right over here. I want to record that I have seen a 4 in my array. So what I will do, I will change the fourth element of this original array to its negative. So basically what I will do is, this 4, I'll go to the fourth element, which is 7, and I'll make 7 as -7. So ideally this array should not contain a negative element, correct? But when I make it I make any element negative, that means that it's an indication that it has been modified. So what does it indicate? So at any particular index I, if my A of I is negative, that means I have seen that ith number in the array somewhere. So let me give you a dry run of how this algorithm works. So let's do one thing. Let's update the array in the town, okay, so that we don't lose our original values. So when I have 4, okay, so let me make a copy. So I won't be making a copy when I be writing a code. So just to make sure that you understand the algorithm, I'm making a copy of it. So if I have 4, I'll go to the fourth element, I'll make it -7. I have 3, I go to the third element and make it -2. I have 2, I go to the second element and make it -3. I have a 7, I go to the seventh element and make it -3. I have a 8, I go to the eighth element and make it -1. I have a 2, I go to the second element and make it -3. Since it's already -3, I'll not touch it. Basically this is the same thing that I was doing with the boolean array. If it's already true, then I don't need to make it true again, right? So I'll not touch it. So then I will go to 3, so I'll make 3 is also already -2, so I'll not touch it again. And I'll go to 1, I'll make the first element minus. So basically this array has turned to -4, -3, -2, -7, 8, 2, -3 and -1. Do you see a pattern? So these elements are marked as negative, okay? These elements right over here, they are marked as negative, but some elements have not marked negative. Why? Because we haven't encountered their indices in the original array. Why? If I ask you why did my 3 was marked as negative, because 3 was at the index of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 was at the index of 7. So since I encountered 7 in the original array, that's why my 7th index was marked as present, correct? You get the idea? So if some index has not been marked, that means I have not seen that indices in the original array. So using a 1 based indexing, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So index number 1 to 4 and 7, 8, they all have been marked minus, except for 2 indices that are 5 and 6. So basically I can tell that my output, or rather my missing elements in the array, are 5 and 6. I hope it's clear. Now how do I make the whole thing in place? How can I not use a second array to have the negatives? So what I'll do, I'll make in place changes. So if I have, let's forget this array, okay, I'll make in place changes. If I have 4, I'll go on and make it -7. If I have 3, I'll go on and make it -2. Now the problem arises. Now my thing has modified, 2 has been modified to -2. Now what do I do? Now for index, I would always consider its absolute value. It was previously 2, that's why it has become -2 now, correct? So since it was previously 2, I'll go and mark my second index in the original array as negative. I'll treat just like a normal index, because -2 is not an index, but since it has been given a minus, that means it has been traversed by some number earlier also. It has been marked, or rather it has been flagged by some number earlier also. So while considering indices, or while considering numbers, this is what I'll do, okay? I'll consider the absolute values. I hope you get the thing. Now I was here, right? I was at 2. Now it's -7 again, so I'll not consider -7, I'll consider 7. So I'll go to the 7th index and make it negative. So this is -3. 8, do I have an 8? Yes. I mean, do I have an 8th index? Of course I have an 8th index. I'll make it -1. 2, do I have a index 2? Yeah, I have index 2, of course. Good. I have already marked it negative, so I'll not touch it because it's already been marked. So if I again do the negative of it, so that could again be positive, and we don't want that. We want the flagged indexes to be flagged, okay? I don't want to unflag those indexes. Then I go to 3, -3. This -3 is basically, I'll consider it a 3 because -3 is not an index. I'll go to the third and I'll mark it, so it's already marked, I'll not touch. And then I come to -1. So this -1 would basically redirect me to the first element. I'll make it -4. So if you can see, now if I traverse this array and I'll see which elements are not less than 0. So is this less than 0? Yes. Is this less than 0? Yes. Is it less than 0? Yes. Is it less than 0? Yes. Is it less than 0? No. This is the first no that we get. This is 2 is also not less than 0. This is the second no that we get, and all other things are less than 0. So this 2, 8 and 2, what does this signify? This basically means that the number 5 and 6 are not present. How do I get to that 5 and 6? I'll explain again. If I start from the index 1, I'll see if index 1 is marked negative, yes. If index 2 is marked negative, yes. Index 3 is marked negative, yes. Index 4 is marked negative, yes. Index 5 is it marked negative? No. So 5 is an answer. Index 6, is it marked negative? No. So 6 is an answer. Again, if you see index 7, it's been marked negative. Index 8, it's been marked negative. But this is the catch, okay, the whole problem. This is a different technique. So this is one of the techniques where you cannot derive this technique by intuition, okay. This is a proper well-established technique of its own. You need to learn this technique, okay. You cannot just go on in a programming contest and expect your mind to come up with such an approach. This is a valuable technique, and you should know this. So let's get on to the coding then. What I'll do nothing. I'll traverse every element for int I equals to 0. I less than nums of size I plus plus. Now what I'll do, I'll have an int index. So index would be basically the absolute value of num size. Why I'm using the absolute value of num size? Because after some point in the loop, my num size would become negative, because some of the elements in the num size, they would be marked. So index cannot be negative, so I'm taking the absolute value to avoid errors. Now if you remember, I was using a one based indexing in my example, but here for an array of 0 to for an array of length n, my index doesn't go from 1 to n, rather my index goes from 0 to n minus 1, correct? So if I ponder upon the number 3, I should not go and make the third element I should go and make the third element marked, but the third element will not lie in index 3, it would lie in index 2, because this is a 0 based indexing, correct? So it would start from 0, 0, 1, 2. So the third element would be at index 2. So whatever index I ponder upon, I would need to do a minus 1 with that. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now what I'll do is, if nums of index is already marked, if nums of index is 0, I'll do nothing. So basically, if nums of index is greater than 0, then I would tell that I want to mark it. So marking means I just reverse it to negative. So basically I just do 0 minus whatever nums of index is. This is what I'll do. So yeah, correct. Now at the last, when this for loop will terminate, I'll have a vector that is my output. So that would be vector int of res. This would be my output. And for int I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, I would see if nums of I is greater than 0. So whatever number is greater than 0, that means that number is positive. So if it's positive, then it has not been marked, because our marking scheme was to flag that number as negative, correct? So it has not been marked, so that particular index is not present. So again, due to this being a 0 based indexing, if I ponder upon my third element, which is positive, I would not tell that my 2 is not present. I would rather tell that my 3 is not present in the array. So basically I would need to do a 1 plus I plus 1 over here. I hope this was clear. Let's tell you one thing, like how am I telling the stuff. So if I have minus 2 and if I have, let's say, 3 and 4, so basically if I ponder upon 3, that means my third element is not present in the array. My third element is not present in the array. But then what is the index? What is the actual index? The index is actually 2. So if I go by the index, my program would tell that my second element is not present in the array, but my second element is present in the array because I have marked it minus 2. So basically I need to tell that my third element is not present. So basically that would boil down to I plus 1. So the index I plus 1 is not present, number I plus 1 is not present. So At the last, what I'll do, I'll return res, and that would pretty much do it. Let's run the code. What's the error? Okay, so n is unidentified, so that would be basically nums of size. So let's run the code again. Yeah, so the base case would be when I have 0 elements. So let's quickly go and give the input, that is the sample input that's present. And the output is okay, accepted. And as always, this particular piece of code from line 1 to line 6 is of no interest, because this just makes my code run faster. Now if I submit the code, let's see if it passes all test cases, and it does, and it passes all test cases with 98.76% better than all the C++ online submissions for this particular problem. So that was all. I hope you enjoyed this, and please learn this technique. This technique is very important. There are subsequent problems that will involve this technique. And yeah, thanks as always, and please subscribe, and please share the content. It would help somebody. And comment down below if you need to if you want me to solve any particular problem of some kind. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.